Hello and buenos dias from Spain's lovely capital Madrid. I'm up bright and early this morning and for good reason, as today we'll be taking a trip aboard one of Renfe's high-speed AVE services from here to Barcelona. But first, I of course need to get to Madrid Puerta de Atocha and check it out. Madrid Atocha is located to the southeast of the city centre. Now, don't worry if you need to travel a bit to get to the station, as it's served by a plethora of metro and cercanías commuter trains. Past the creepy babies' heads, sorry to give you nightmares, and we find one of the station's many entrances. This bit here is where you'll come out if you arrive at Atocha on a high-speed service. Plenty of ticket machines can be found in various locations throughout the station, although you're probably sick of hearing me say this by now, but I'd be doing you a disservice if I didn't mention that you'd be much better off buying tickets for high-speed services online and in advance. The way to AVE high-speed services is well signposted, and we'll head through to the departure lounge in just a moment, but the part of the station I'm currently in is where you'll find those aforementioned metro and cercanías services, as well as any long-distance trains that operate on the Iberian gauge lines, such as Talgo intercity services. Of course, we couldn't take a look around Madrid Atocha without paying a visit to its famous tropical gardens. Now unfortunately, this was as close as I could get, as they were cordoned off when I visited. The gardens are located in the oldest part of the station, with this lovely part of the structure dating back to 1892. It was built to replace the original 1851 station, which was destroyed by fire, and was designed by no other than Gustave Eiffel, whose company was of course responsible for designing and building the Eiffel Tower in Paris. Anyway, time to head through to the departure lounge to await boarding. The service we'll be catching today is the 0800 to Barcelona-Sants, train number AVE 3081. I've been particularly looking forward to this as it's a non-stop service, meaning that 2.5 hours of uninterrupted high-speed fun await us. Now, there are two separate departure lounges for high-speed services, an upper level and a lower level, and we'll be departing from the former today. We first need to make our way up to the relevant security checkpoint before accessing the departure area. All passengers travelling on high-speed services in Spain have to undergo a security check, although it's not quite as intense as what you'll experience in an airport, with there being no limits on the likes of liquids. As we make our way up, I just want to give a quick mention to the other high-speed operators that operate on the Madrid to Barcelona route. While the Renfe-AVE services have been the mainstay on what is Spain's most important railway corridor, two new low-cost services have since burst onto the scene. I covered Ouigo España, which is a subsidiary of the French national operator SNCF in a previous video, while my good friend Nonstop Eurotrip has covered Avlo, who are the new low-cost branch of Renfe. Links to both of these videos can be found in the top right corner of the screen now. Anyway, the security check only took a couple of minutes, and we are now in the departure lounge. I'd recommend leaving it as late as possible before heading through here, as besides a couple of overpriced shops and some vending machines, there really isn't much through here. Our train is called forward for boarding about half an hour prior to departure, and after a quick ticket check, we are granted access to the platform. The ride across to Barcelona today will be aboard an AVE S-103 set. These are part of Siemens' Velaro family of trains, being very similar to the likes of Deutsche Bahn's ICE 3s, and entered service with the Spanish national operator in 2006. Their permitted top speed is a whopping 350 km an hour or 217 miles an hour, although we'll only reach 300 km an hour or 186 miles an hour today. I'll be travelling in Turista Plus today, but I thought I'd quickly come and show you the Tourista Seating as we board. Tourista, or Standard Class as it has since been rebranded, is the second class offering on this train and still looks a very comfortable option in my opinion, featuring stylish leather seating in a 2+2 configuration. And for those of you wondering, this is what the wheelchair spaces look like, and naturally the accessible toilet is located next to this. Moving further along, we find the cafeteria, although this was still closed at the time of recording due to the P word. And here's what Turista Plus looks like. This has since been rebranded as Comfort Class and is the first class offering, and basically just feature bigger versions of the Tourista or standard seats. By the way, I'll leave a full written explanation of Renfe's new class system in the comments, as to say it's quite complicated would definitely be an understatement. Anyway, I'll be in Coach 2, Seat 9A today. Even for 6'1" me, I found legroom to be plentiful. The world's smallest litter bin, which is a staple piece on the German ice trains, also makes an appearance here, as well as a footrest and a seat back pocket. And, as is always good to see, a large and sturdy tray table is also provided. Under the seat, you'll find a standard European 2-pin plug socket. Moving back up, there's controls for the seats recline, which I found to be rather good. And to the left, there's controls for the onboard entertainment system, although this was out of use at the time of filming. And as for the seats themselves, well, I think that they're some of the best out there, being plush and comfortable. And lastly, the window blind reading light combo is, as expected, present here. Now before we set off, let's just take a quick look at our route for today. As I mentioned earlier, upon departure from Madrid, we'll run non-stop to Barcelona, covering the 621 kilometers or 386 miles between the two cities in just 2 hours and 30 minutes. And we depart Madrid Atocha bang on 8 o'clock.
Renfe les da la bienvenida a bordo de este tren con destino Barcelona-Sants. La tripulación está a su disposición.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on board this train bound for
Barcelona-Sants.
The crew will be happy to assist you, and on behalf of Renfe, we wish you a pleasant journey.
As we depart, we find ourselves running alongside an S-100 set, which I believe was bound for Valencia. The S-100 was Spain's original high-speed train, having entered service in 1992, and are based on the French TGV Atlantiques. We then passed the high-speed depot off to our left, where Renfe's high-speed trains, as well as Ouigo's TGVs, are maintained. Once out of Madrid, we waste no time in accelerating up to speed. Now before I settle down for the journey, let's just pop off to go and see what else these trains have to offer. Much like the ice trains, there's a panoramic section at either end of each unit, although unfortunately these were set to opaque on this occasion. TV screens can be found above the aisle. These are usually used to show a movie, but were just displaying Renfe propaganda when I filmed this. Now, you'll be pleased to hear that luggage storage is rather plentiful, both in the saloon and on these rather generous racks in the vestibules. One nice feature of the S-103s is that they feature reversible seating, meaning that unless you're at a table seat, you'll almost always be facing the direction of travel. And as you'd expect, toilets can be found at the carriage ends, and these were all well kept, with everything being clean, well stocked and in good working order. Lastly, this train is Wi-Fi enabled, although you will need the Play Renfe app to connect to it. As you can see, much of the trip is spent travelling at or close to top speed. It's also worth mentioning that usually we would hit 310 km an hour at certain points of the trip, but for some reason we were restricted to 300 km an hour on the day I filmed this. Even at these sorts of speeds, I still found the ride quality to be very smooth indeed, and the train was pretty quiet overall. We soon find ourselves taking the Lleida bypass. While some trains stop at the station in the city centre, we go blazing on through. We did the same in Zaragoza earlier. Before we know it, we're beginning to slow down as we approach the great city of Barcelona. This has been a very pleasant trip aboard the AVE S-103. To me, they're spruced up versions of Germany's Ice Freeze, which is definitely a very good thing, as that meant I had a smooth and comfortable journey. However, the lack of catering was a bit disappointing, but this has since been reinstated. So, the cost. Prices can vary quite dramatically on this route, but I ended up paying €66.30 for my one-way Tourista Plus ticket today. Now, that is on the expensive side in my opinion, considering that you can get essentially the same experience in Ouigo Plus for about half the price. That said, being a legacy full-service carrier, things are always going to be a little more expensive on Renfe's AVE services. So, a fast and convenient trip, but what did you make of the experience? Be sure to let me know in the comments below. For the last portion of the trip, we enter tunnels as we make our way into the centre of the Catalan capital. As we approach Sants Estacio, the music they played made me feel like we were part of some sort of alien invasion or conspiracy theory, which made me chuckle a bit. and we pull into the dingy underground platforms at Barcelona-Sants on time at 11:30. With that, I do hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to help us out by giving it a like. If you're new to the channel, you're going to want to subscribe and enable notifications as I publish new trip reports every Monday and Friday. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you on Friday.